Oh boy, it's another one of them controversial random thoughts, but here it is. I said it many times about if I were president, what I would do. And one of those things that I would do is I would create a non-citizens workers tax. Now, this will be 50% of whatever a person who cannot prove that they are a citizen of the United States would have to pay on top of all the other taxes that we have to pay as citizens. Now, you're going to say, well, that's not going to be very profitable for the people who come in. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come into our country. They work 7 years under the tax exemption clause, and they take all that money and they send it back to their countries, and then they leave and they live richly for the rest of their lives. If they're only making 20% of what, they're only getting 20% of whatever they're making, that tends to drop them down to a point where it's not very profitable just to come to the country. That'll keep them so that they would be, if they really are oppressed and they really want to better their lives, they would really want to come to our country to be free, they would come to our country, they'd be free, and they would gain citizenship so that they would just pay regular taxes. Now, you'd say, well, what's that extra 50% of whatever they make going to go to? I said, well, that 50% whatever they make is going to go to the communities that they're in. We're talking about community resource centers in every city, or in every county, I should say, in America, where you can look for a job, you can get information, you can get help where you need it. And I'm not talking for like socialism or anything like that. I'm talking for the citizens of the United States. If you're not a citizen, you're not privy to that idea. But I think also if you're unemployed, if you want to get that unemployment check, you need to come to this facility and have a certain amount of calls you got to make, or a certain amount of things. This facility would have cubicles, it would have a computer connected to a database and a phone, so that way you can contact the people that you need to contact to do this thing. And as a requirement, I'd make it so that every job that needs to be posted will also have to be posted to this database, and it'll be a very, very simple form that you have to just fill out on the computer, and there it is, it's in the database. And you'll have a job ID, and as soon as you get the job ID, you just type that in and all the information will be put in there. That way, say you don't have a job and you need to find a job, you can go there and find a job really quickly. Two things are going to happen. One, you're not going to ask for company resources, or two, you're going to find a job. And one of the best things about that is, say you live in Los Angeles and your mama in Kentucky has fallen ill and has not got along, and you need to move there for a couple of years. You can go on the old go to the resource center, one of the many resource centers in LA, because you know they're going to have a lot, and you go in there and you can type in Kentucky, you can type in what your credentials are, and what will happen in that database is it'll find that job for you. It'll set you up an appointment that you can do via Zoom meeting or whatnot to get the job in Kentucky, so that you can be closer to your family. And it'll also post your job automatically, and it'll send a message to your employer stating that this person is looking for employment elsewhere and has gained employment elsewhere. Do you wish to post his job? And then that way, when you go talk to your employer that you have found a job and all that stuff, he can go for there. And I know that's a little shady area, but see, I would not, have that 50% workers tax, non-citizens workers tax, just sit on deaf ears. I'd use it for things. The community resource centers that would be built would also house a simple food pantry, and instead of getting SNAP benefits and EBT cards that you can use at any store, you have to go there, and the food there would be basic staple items, and that way you wouldn't have to worry about somebody wasting their whole entire card on like microwave meals and quick foods and stuff, and we wouldn't have this obligation for them to try to get McDonald's with their SNAP card, which is kind of dumb in my opinion itself. But you'd have a spot where you'd still have the SNAP benefits and you still have to use them, but you'd only be able to use them there. You wouldn't be able to use them in the stores. So that was what I would do with the non-citizens workers tax. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, well, that's taxation without representation. I said, yes and no. Yes, that is a tax that is only for those people. And unconstitutional, yes, but you got to realize if they cannot prove that they're a citizen of this United States, they are not a citizen under the Constitution of the United States. So there you go. So that being said, that's my 5-minute spiel for this day, and I got a lot more on this concept. Chances are, if I were to be president, I would probably be assassinated before my first term was over. But that being said, I will talk to you guys on the next day or tomorrow. And let's put Brandon, just because we're going to be political this one, let's put Brandon as the word at the end of the thing. So I put a word at the end of the video. You put that in the comments, and I'll make it to the end. And just for good measure, we're just going to say Brandon again, so people know which one I'm talking about. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.